You know, we've had 3 gut-wrenching games against them, and got a lot of respect for Coach Johnson and their program. They do a great job. But you know, I'm proud of where we are as far as a program. Obviously you're trying to build the best team you can, but you know, we're about building a great program here, and that's what we're in the process of doing. And you know, we've accomplished a lot of the tasks that in my mind I had when we got started, and just got to stay the course.
Is Allen as their feature back different much than Dwyer? I mean, Dwyer was a pretty special running back.
Yeah.
Allen seems maybe a little more physical.
He's fast too. You know, he is really fast. He's the guy that went, you know, 70 yards on us last year. I mean, he can run. He's probably a little bit faster than Dwyer. If I just had to say, you know, Dwyer was pretty physical back. Now, I don't know if I'd say he's more physical. He's a very tough runner. I'd say he's he's as physical, but maybe a little bit more speed. He's a very good player, and then they got good complementary guys on the outside. You know, and Peoples and Orwin Smith, Roddy Jones. I mean, they got some good players. You know, and again, this just comes down to, you know, your eyes and everybody doing their job. You just basically, for us, you take everything you've done all spring, all summer, all camp, first 6 games, and you just put it over in the shed and say, see you next week, boys. That's really what it comes down to, and you start over, and because it's completely different. Nobody's doing a job that they've done all year. But our guys are excited about it. You know, we had a good energy on the practice field last night, a lot of coaching going on from the players. You know, a lot of guys taking ownership, and it was good. It was good intensity on a Monday practice. So, you know, we're off to a good start.
Who's your scout team quarterback?
It's going to be Vic Beasley. You know, he's probably the only guy that I think can give us. You know, Vic can't throw the ball very good, but you know, he's probably the only guy that can give us a true Nesbitt simulation, because he's big and strong and can run. He's a tough guy. So, you know, I'm gonna spend a little time over there with that scout offense today, making sure we got the juices flowing like they need to, because we need a great Tuesday and Wednesday practice in pads to really you know, give us a good picture of the speed they're going to see on Saturday. So I'm anxious to see it today.
With Nesbitt, do you want to take away him running the ball, make him pitch it more, or how do you defend him?
Well, you know, somebody's got to tackle the quarterback every play. I mean, it's just do your job. Somebody's got to take the dive guy every play. Somebody's got to take the pitch guy every play. You know, the first big play in the championship game, we had a trap called, and it was a game. You couldn't have had a better call. It was perfect. And the trap guy had one job, the pitch man. All he had to do, the only thing he was coached to do. And what does he do? He comes in there and goes to the quarterback. And we got 2 guys on the quarterback. The ball gets pitched, and it's a 20-yard game. It should have been a tackle for loss, blow up, maybe a fumble. And so it's just important that everybody do your job. Nobody's job is more important than the others. You know, I mean, obviously you want to stop them all, but just tackle the quarterback, hit him. You know, that's the one great thing about playing a team that runs the option. You can hit the quarterback a lot. And so, you know, he ought to be hit every play. And that's what you got to do. I mean, you got to hit the dive guy. You got to hit the pitch man. I mean, you got to do your job and make sure that, you know, because it gets changed up. It's not always the same. That's one thing that if it's always the same against these guys, they'll make you pay. You know, you got to change it up a little bit.
Is it an advantage at all having prepared for him twice last year?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's an advantage, but it's certainly we've got good knowledge. You know, so I guess, you know, the more knowledgeable you are, the better chances of success you have. And we're pretty knowledgeable on them.
Do you remember Nesbitt during the recruiting process? Was he a kid you ever looked at?
I don't.
Because it's kind of amazing the way he seems to be just really fits this offense.
Oh man, yeah, he's. And there's guys out there like, you know, he'll always have him a quarterback. He'll always have a quarterback. that can execute his scheme. I don't know if he'll have many like Nesbitt. That guy is pretty special now. He is big, strong, tough, has a great will to win. I mean, I like watching him play. I mean, he lays it on the line. I mean, he really does.
In a more traditional offense, where do you think he probably would have wound up?
Well, it's hard to say because it's hard for me to evaluate him as a passer, other than because he doesn't really, throw the ball a lot. But to see him in a true drop back type offense, I don't know. Probably running back. Would be my first guess if he wasn't successful as a quarterback. I would think he'd have a good chance being a good running back. So he can run with football.
Last year he had a great outlet in Demarius Thomas. Who does he kind of go to this year, or is it spread out?
Well, at number 5, Hill's been their main guy. He's got 11 catches. He's got a couple touchdowns. But they've got 84. Melton is another guy that's they fast that they try to get the ball to. Corey Earls is a guy that they get the ball to. Quite a bit. So that's probably their main guys. But number 5 is big. He's 6'5". He's kind of the jump ball guy that they're going to throw it up to, when they throw it down the field.
Can you talk some more about sort of the big picture here? You mentioned just a minute ago about you've come a long way since you got the job.
Yeah.
The other side of that is you're 3-3 last year. You're 3-3 this year. You're 16-11 overall, with taking out the Coastal Carolinas and all that. It's about 500. Just talk about the steps that have been made, and is it a bigger challenge than you thought it would be, or did you put any time?
Oh no, I knew this wasn't going to be easy. You don't change a culture overnight. I mean, you just don't. I knew that we had pretty good distance to make up as far as becoming the type of program that I want us to become here. And that's not just the scoreboard. That's your off season. It's your coaching staff. It's the way you talk to the players. It's the way you meet with them. It's your support staff. It's everything. It's your practice habits. It's off the field stuff. I mean, you can't get the cart before the horse. The cart being the scoreboard. And I don't think there's any question that if you've watched us play and you've really paid attention, we've made a lot of progress in some of the main areas that I felt like we needed to improve in for the long haul. And again, not just building a team, trying to build a program. And we've had some on the field. Obviously we never won the Atlantic Division. We won that last year in our first year. We took over a team in the middle of a chaotic season, and we played better, and we did it with a lot of guys that aren't here anymore. And, beat our rival, went to the Gator Bowl, played a good Nebraska team, extremely tough, physical, and then over the course of last year, we became a more physical football team, and our guys have bought into that, and that started to be – everybody's lined up and whipped us. There's a difference between losing and getting beat. There's a big difference. And there's a difference between winning and beating people. So, we've lost some games that we're not happy about, but we hadn't lost to a bad team. We hadn't lost a game we were favored to win. We've just got to stay the course, keep doing what we're doing. But I think we've made a lot of progress with our staff. I think we've, gone from having an offensive line that was a real weak spot on our team to being, I think, the strong spot on our team. A team that didn't protect the quarterback very well to now protects the quarterback pretty good. A team that didn't really have a good emphasis on running the football to a team that's committed. We've changed the philosophy on defense. We're not perfect. We haven't quite mastered the execution of what we want to do, but we're heading in that direction. You know, we went from 14 sacks to 36 last year. I mean, we've made a lot of progress with our program in the 2 years. But, you know, again, I wish that we were a little bit better record-wise. But, you know, this season isn't over, and there's a lot of ball left to be played. All I know is we've got an Atlantic Division banner hanging up. We've played for our championship, and we put 10 guys in the NFL last year, and eight of them made it, and one of them went to the UFL team. And you know, we're graduating our players. We had a great APR, and you know, we don't have many guys getting in trouble around here. You know, most of our guys, you know, try to act the right way, and when we do have an issue, we deal with it. You know, we don't hide from it or anything like that. You know, I see a lot of things. There's a lot of good things. Ultimately, you know, most people just look at the scoreboard and they say, well, you're either good or bad. And at some point, that'll be the case. But right now, we're in the middle of, you know, getting this thing going. We're recruiting at an extremely high level. If you know anything about recruiting, we're recruiting very well. And we redshirted just about everybody we signed last year. And those guys are in that weight room, in our power hour. You know, they got no sense of entitlement. They're learning how to earn it. They're learning how to work. They're learning how to be humble, and they're coming together as a football team. And then we're going to put another, say, 24, 25 guys with them this year, and you know, we're going to have a nucleus of a championship team right here. And so, you know, I think we've taken the bulls by the horn, and we've tried to make the best of it, of our situation. But, you know, as I've said before, the best is yet to come. We've got a lot left to do.
How do you manage, because of this Georgia Tech situation, them kind of taking stuff off the table for you the last couple of years? It's good to have the sort of the human emotion of wanting to get that back, but how do you manage and not let that kind of go?
Yeah, it's just another game. It's the next game. It's a one-game season, and again, that's really, yeah, it's Georgia Tech, and we're very familiar with them, and you know, these guys have memories, you know, good and bad memories. We've done a lot of good things against these guys too. You know, so there's confidence on both sides. But for us, it's just really one game season, which means just that daily preparation with great sense of urgency, and everybody having attention to details on their job, trying to create the knowledge that we need to be able to, you know, have success on game day. And other than that, there's really nothing else to it. I mean, last year's games were last year's games. Those were last year's teams. This is different. You know, it's a different year, different teams, and you know, hopefully we'll have the result that we want.
Is there anything that sticks out to you as far as why there's been so many consecutive close games in this series, other than just two pretty evenly matched teams?
Yeah, pretty evenly matched teams that have laid it on the line and play hard and refuse to quit. I think both teams well coached, and you know, both teams have a nice will to win. I mean, it's, you know, there's got to be a winner and a loser. You know, but there's just they've made a few more plays than we have. Been a few tough calls in the ball in a couple of them, and but you know, you got to rise above that.
There were like 4 hits on Sunday NFL games that have drawn a lot of talk the past couple of days about NFL trying to cut down like the helmet stuff, guys looking for heads. Do you guys have a system in place to, other than just coaching your guys and saying tackle the right way, a system in place to guard against?
We coach tackling every week, every day, and we coach our technique. You know, we lead. It's a shoulder tackle. You don't lead with your head, and you know, you just try to coach it. And when you have issues on film, you point it out. We send it in. If there's something that we've had happen to us, you know, we send it in and say, hey, listen, you know, just to try to make it, you know, something that as the officials study themselves on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, that's brought to their attention. But for us, it's just about how we coach tackling. We video it,